What is going on, everybody? Bobby Fi here. Sheets is going to be joining me in just a little bit. I'm going to talk through just this DraftKings and FanDuel slate, extremely different slates on both sites. So I'll touch on those, and then we'll talk about some NBA stuff in a little bit and sort of see where I'm at. It's going to change. I'm probably going to be out of here by about 6:15 Eastern. I did want to remind everybody we have the partnership with SaberSim where we're literally, we're charging like $20 more than them a month for the ultimate package and just slightly more for the other packages. We also have all of the pay dirt info on there, all of Sheets' projections, Goldie's projections, which have obviously been incredible for me and for Sheets and for a lot of our members. Hopefully you guys will give us a chance to take a look. And also we did want to remind everybody you can do the trials again. I know I say this every day, but I have to remind everybody because we want you guys to join us and then join the winning parade there. So good to see Scott McCarty in the chat. What's up, my man? All right, I'm going to talk through this slate, a very different slate on both sides. We'll talk about FanDuel first. On FanDuel, obviously we don't have the later games. My favorite game of the day to target for hitting is both sides of the Mets and Diamondbacks, but we do get the Dodger game, and the Dodgers are my number one stack if I had to play every team today. We also have weather concerns in Washington and New York. It's a little tricky. Washington, I trust less. I'm probably going to let it roll in the lottery, but I won't probably play it in the high buy-ins with the weather currently the way it is now. But this is what I'm getting on FanDuel at the moment. Reagans and Boyd, no shocker there. I think there's an argument to be made for taking a shot with Brady Singer. We've seen Atlanta at times, so I think I'm actually going to pop in a little bit of ownership for them before I rebuild. Hey, Rick, good to see you. Rich, good to see you. Sorry. And I think that there's enough upside for Blanco to at least get a little bit of exposure, but not overly enthused by most of the pitching on this slate outside of Reagans and Boyd. I think that's mostly where I'm going to be at. In terms of stacks, I like the Dodgers. I understand it's going to be fairly owned, but with the two weather games and sort of a shorter slate, I don't really know what else we're supposed to do here because you got the bad hitting conditions in Chicago for the Cubs. Cincinnati and Atlanta, I think that would be your next best stop outside of maybe the Yankees. Pivetta has been really good, but he definitely has some blow up in him. And then I think that it's not that I don't first of all, I think Shane Smith is better than most people do, but I think you're going to get decent ownership. It's actually a little less than I thought it would be on FanDuel for KC. So I'm not going out of my way to play it, but I wouldn't mind if you got to a little bit of that as well. Good to see you, Motown, in here. And somebody's out of the lineup. It's Monday, so pretty much no lineup comes out the way it's expected to. Let's just do that. And I'm going to rebuild with the little changes I made, and we'll go from there. But yeah, very different slate on both sites. No problem leaving money on the table. No problem with contrarian, not heavy stacking. I mean, one thing that you can do is it's tough because we need the Yankee game to play, but it does look better than it did earlier. I believe more in the Yankees game playing than the Washington game, and they both may play, but I always going to trust anything outside of Washington more. But you can play like Judge and Ohtani together tonight and get away with it with a 4-2-1-1 or a 4-1-1-1-1. I think it's nice when we get them on the same slates, and we don't have that much else over there. Favorite Dodgers hitters based on salaries that Brendan's asking. Look, it's always going to be a lot of the same guys. We have the super cheap Yaesung Kim batting ninth, but Muncy's still very affordable. He has not been great. Alcantara just had so much trouble. Ohtani's my favorite. I know that he's going to be popular. I guess Pages is the one I would want to be the most over the field on. That's probably I would do something like Pages, Ohtani, factoring in ownership and everything. Probably one of Mookie and Teoscar with maybe Conforto or Kim. That's where I'm at. I was just talking through FanDuel sheets a little bit, and it's a totally different slate, obviously.
Oh, right, because FanDuel's first, right?
Yeah, and it's literally just a completely different slate. They don't even have the night games. There's no Arizona game. There's none of that. So
is there any? What's the early? Oh, that has the Dodgers in it. You're saying
has the Dodgers though? Which yeah. So basically, I'm getting. I know they're going to have some ownership. I'm still going to have the Dodgers as my highest owned stack on FanDuel. and it's going to be hard to get away from the Reagans and Boyd for me. I didn't run the Sims yet, but this.
Well, what about the Yankee game?
I'm okay. It looks better.
Yeah.
But you also have good pitching. So
No, I know that, but the pitching is what I'm saying. You mean good hitting?
Yeah, I just don't think either of those guys are, given the matchup, as good as the Reagans and Boyd are.
Yeah, I don't. Tell me again why Matthew Boyd is like all of a sudden like good again.
He's been really good. This is not a brand new thing. He's always been an excellent pitcher. He just had arm trouble and then had the terrible year.
Right.
But this is like a guy who was going to win Cy Youngs and everything, and still may. But he's been awesome. Incredible strikeout stuff. I've watched him against the Dodgers a couple times already, and he's like, I don't care about his numbers in those. He's had to face a gauntlet of terrible matchups so far this season, and so he's had the Dodgers twice. He's had San Diego twice, at Arizona. These are like the best teams in baseball against left-handed pitching. I think that against Pittsburgh, you got to take your shots there. But I still am more on the Reagan side than I am on his. That's where I'm at mostly. But as you can see, like on my FanDuel, I'm just not messing with anything else too much. I forced in a little bit of Springer, a little bit of Blanco, but nothing crazy. And then I got to a little bit of Rodon, but Rodon's going to have ownership, and so is Pivetta. And I think Pivetta is an interesting. He's probably the most interesting of the contrarian, what you could do at pitching. But I also worry, and I think the Yankees would also be one of the stacks I'd want to mix in a little bit. You feel pretty good about that game playing, though, pretty clean? It looks like it.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think they'll play it. I mean, they open the stadium at 5:30. You know what I mean? That's one thing, so that's good. And a lot of people on the Yankee Twitter say, "Why don't you just cancel already? You're letting us in for an hour and a half to charge us for concession, and you know you're going to cancel it."
No.
Yankee fans are particularly,
but also because they're playing the Padres, they don't get this matchup very much, so it's hard to make up this game.
Right,
it becomes trickier if anything happens like over the next couple of days. Anyway, but I do worry about the Washington game in general. Because Washington, we've seen Washington with a full green light ready to go, and they still have canceled games before. They're just the least trustworthy.
So pitching. So I have something.
Okay.
Pitching for the Guardians is who?
Let's see. I basically am not paying much attention because I'm not treating that. I'm just not going to go heavy with Washington, and I'll leave it.
I know that. No,
because
there was.
It's Ortiz and Irvin.
Right. So apparently, I don't know if I saw this, but that the pitcher for Cleveland is like gives up a lot of stolen bases or something like that.
Ortiz.
Yeah. And somebody was getting an upgrade as far as that. Who I think Alex Call or something like that is like hitting second instead of seventh or something like that.
Oh, yeah, that's what it. Yeah, I mean, he's not especially cheap, but yeah, that is a thing. The other thing is that Ortiz has actually been like awesome for the most part.
Oh, is that true? Okay.
Yeah, he's been really good. Like his last games, 20? He had the bad game against the Yankees, forgivable, and then 20 against Pittsburgh, 30 against KC. Before that, he's got some decent stuff, but he has a wide range of outcomes pitcher. I would get to some of that. I'm going to let it give me what it gives me in the lottery, but I'm just not touching it in any big buy-in. I'll hand build my big buy-ins to completely avoid it.
Well,
unless I get a completely, and even if I got it I don't know, that I just Washington terrifies me with this stuff.
With what?
Just the weather stuff.
The weather stuff.
They're infamous for canceling all these things. So it worries me, but I may be a little chalkier than usual, and I let the Sims do a little bit more work for me on FanDuel. But yeah, the Dodgers and Cincinnati are my two highest owned on along with Houston, who it's not the best version of the Houston stack. We'll put it that way. No Alvarez anymore either because he's out. So you're not getting the absolute best there.
All right. Well, I'll tell you who I'm getting on FanDuel. As long as we're talking about our exposures here, and the good thing is that technically you could swap a bunch of times, but
It's just
not
very
really.
quick.
But not really.
Yeah, you got an
You
hour.
want to stop at 6:43 and then like it's 7:01.
Right.
I right now, first of all, pitching wise, is Reagan's number one, and then I actually have Rodon number two.
Okay.
And hoping that, and you know how I hate playing him in general.
You do.
But I have that right now, and then sprinkles of the rest, including Boyd, Singer, Blanco, and Pavetta. This is on FanDuel. And my team stacks, my top exposed teams look like the Reds.
Yeah.
My top one, followed by the Braves. Straight from that game. But it's a lot of Reds.
Yeah.
I have to say. So
yeah, I got the Reds, Dodgers, and those are my two. I'm good with the Reds. And I'm giving Singer a little bit more respect. I don't know that he necessarily deserves it, but he's been like, as usual, he's like been better than people think. He'll give up a home run, he'll walk a few guys, and he'll probably strike out 6 or 7, and he's probably going to go 6 innings, and he has a long leash. So I'm a little bit interested in Singer.
What about DraftKings?
So we'll move over to DraftKings, and right now we're getting a question, the question from Scott, which is that the one that I don't like, that I don't like this Tobias Myers business. He always looks like a good play, and he hasn't pitched well yet.
He just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, has he had one even like usable game? I don't think so. But it is a weak Houston lineup for what it's worth. And he's got a lot of righties, which is obviously a plus for him. But what's his best? I mean, he had a 16 fantasy point game against the White Sox. That was the one good game. Is that right? I think that might be a flawed stat that I'm looking at.
Where is Eric Johnson with the A's whispering tonight?
He doesn't have any A's whispering. He just always whispers A's.
Oh.
Earlier, he came in to say that they're going to win the World Series this year.
They could.
This is the year they actually could. When he said it 2 years ago, when they had the worst team in baseball, that was
really good.
Time. But this is the year where it's possible.
I mean, Mulder and Zito, they're good pitchers.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, right. All right, I'm rebuilding my draft.
Dave Stewart's really good too, and Eckersley coming out of the pen. I mean, they're in good shape this year.
Yeah, seriously, with McGuire and Canseco. Actually, their hitting is pretty good though.
With Ricky Henderson getting on base first? That's
Ricky Henderson and then those guys.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best teams of all time to not win the World Series.
Which one?
88.
Oh,
Dodgers. Yeah. My Dodgers, the magic year.
And then the best was in 1990 when they played the Reds. This was awesome. So I remember I was living in New Orleans, and the first game was against Oakland, in Oakland, and Oakland was like a 2-1 favorite, and the Reds won, and so then game 2, since it was a quote unquote must win game for Oakland, they made Oakland like a 3-1 favorite, and then the Reds won.
Yep.
And then they came back to Cincinnati with a more of a must win game, and normally Cincinnati would be probably like a minus 150 at home, but now they were getting like plus 200, and the Reds won again and again and again.
So I didn't go to those games. That's pretty funny because I was at the hotel the Reds were staying at when we were in Oakland because some of my family members went to the game. So I met and talked to Barry Larkin, who was my favorite player at the time.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, I was 8 years old. You know what I mean? Like it was just like a cool thing.
That was with Chris Sable was on that team too.
Yep. Who else? Yes, Sable, and then.
Well, what's his name had one of the great runs. The pitcher.
The future Yankee guy.
Jose Rio.
O'Neill. Yeah. No, it was. Yeah. Was it Jose Rio? It was Jose Rio. I
think
right?
so. He had a tremendous run.
Was it Jose Rio? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, that's right. And then he, and then they got the crazy sweep.
Yep. And
they won the World Series in between against the Giants. They of course had the earthquake that started that whole thing.
The A's did, yeah.
The A's did, yeah. But that was like literally that's a team
that was nuts.
Yeah,
that was beyond nuts.
That was crazy. Yeah, I just don't know about this Tobias Myers thing. Everybody else can do it. That's fine. I'm happy to be wrong. I've been okay with attacking Houston all year long. I'm just not doing it.
Okay, so let me tell you. I mean, I just ran the Sims as normal on. Now I don't have on DraftKings. I do not have a couple of lineups in. I don't have the Mets in, and I don't have Seattle, Oakland.
Yeah, my guess is that we probably have those right before lock or something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. That's whatever.
That's just my guess, and it is Monday, so you get the lineups on Monday.
All right, so let me see what my exposures. Okay, on DraftKings, my top owned pitcher is in fact Cole Reagans, but this is kind of fun. So second highest owned would be Carlos Rodon, and then after that, the aforementioned Bryce Miller. How about them apples?
Yeah, I want to get even more of him. I keep trying to get them to give me more, and they're not letting me do it. So I'm just going to change this prediction.
And then a very healthy 20% of the also aforementioned Brady Singer.
Yeah, I think I like that.
We'll see.
I have no issue with that. And then I personally am more on the Pivetta side than Rodon, but I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm just saying that's where I'm leaning. I also I really think Pivetta is really like I do think getting some Yankee stacks is probably not the worst idea. I'm just so heavily. Yeah. I just I don't even want to know the ownership in the Arizona and New York game. I'm going to look at it now, but I just want to play everybody from it and then just have that be my game. You know what I mean?
So what's your highest owned stack on DraftKings?
It's Arizona and the Mets. It's
Arizona and the Mets.
And they're most of my lineups. So, to be honest with you, I put a minimum of 30% on each of them, and right now I'm getting 40% of each of them.
Sigh. That's all I have to say about my DraftKings exposure right now.
What do you got?
What do you think I have?
Oh, you got theirs. What do you got? What do you have? I'm gonna say you have the White Sox
and
Padres.
No, of course not. That'd be too easy.
Padres are playing against your pitcher, so that they sometimes do that.
Oh, why would I do that when I could play 44% San Francisco?
Well, that was me. That was going to be the other one. I just worry about that hitting conditions.
Of course.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do with this. All right, so that's what I got right now. Listen, no executive order, still live in America, et cetera, et cetera. Don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with this, but I think I do have, like 100% exposure to the Reagans experience. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure that whatever I don't have of Reagans, I have of the White Sox.
Yeah.
And I think that very much, and then I think, actually I have more San Francisco than Boyd. Ugh, God knows. F you, SaberSim, honestly. You're freaking.
They want you to attack the.
They're in a mood. What can I tell you? They're just in a mood. FanDuel, though, I'm okay. FanDuel, I'm not. I don't have all the White Sox, at least. FanDuel, I have the Reds. I mean, that's at least a team.
Yeah.
A team against not the greatest pitcher with a good, with decent weather. That's not bad.
Yeah.
As opposed to freaking the Giants. You watch, I'll get like 6 runs at the Giants that I'll get pinch hit for.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. Let's see. Oh, we still got plenty of time. At some point, we'll talk about NBA coming up soon, and then I'll probably get out of here.
Yeah. What do you think about? We can talk about it. What do you think about the games in the NBA?
I think Denver has a great chance in this series. I think they're going to get destroyed tonight. And by the way, people, I saw somebody complaining for the Grizzlies when they had but we just played the night before, and then they had to play us in the morning and all this. That's what you deserve. If you win so many more games than everybody else, you should be penalized. If you go further in this, you should be penalized. So I'm okay with Denver being penalized. And I don't know.
That's good complaining that the NFL top seed gets a bye.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, first of all, in baseball, by the way, they really should do something for these teams, because you win everything and you get nothing.
Yeah, if you do it over the course of 162 games, right, or whatever.
Yeah, and then you get so what? So you get 3 out of 5 at home. I think the way it should be in baseball, they just have to make all the team that wins their division has to get all the home games.
You got to have some revenue sharing. You got to.
I know, but they make money off the TV rights anyway.
Yeah, but I think the fans should get something.
Maybe you can give them 1 or something. I just think it doesn't make any sense. What really made no sense was a couple years ago when the Dodgers and Giants had the best records in baseball. They were 103, the other one 102, and nobody else had more than 92 wins in baseball. And they had to play a 2 out of 3 to see who's in the playoffs.
Would you sign on for? How about this? How about in a 7-game series, like the 1 versus 8 or something? How about this? How about the 8 gets the first 2 at home, then the final 5 on the road?
That sounds good to me. I like that.
But yeah, puts a little pressure on the good team too. You don't want to go down 2-0.
No, it's absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can win games on the road. Like, it's not impossible.
Right.
Like, it happens. All right. So I just refreshed my things. I'm going to save these and then we'll move back over there. But oh my God.
What happened? Who's out? Darius Garland's playing again?
No, this is a family.
Oh, sorry about that. Giannis is out?
Sorry.
God.
I didn't know I had, like, it's up on my screen. I usually keep it silent, and
I just heard a ding. That's all. Nobody saw anything.
I know, but I wish I didn't see it. It's not like totally unexpected. It's just a little.
Oh, good grief.
I'll stick around for a few more minutes.
But you know what? I mean, that's the thing about the Firestone family. I mean, like,
there's a lot.
There's so many of you.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? It's like there's going to be some negative variance in there. That's the way it is.
Yeah, it's. Jesus. Yeah, it's true. And
I guess the family doesn't want to hear that, though, right?
No, everybody. We've been talking about it for years. It's just tough to. It still makes it hard, you know. It doesn't even matter. It's tough.
Yeah.
All right. I don't say. Why
don't you log off and take care of your shit?
Okay. All right. I'm gonna get out of here. Good luck, guys. I'll try to update my stuff in a little bit.
I'll stick around.
Thanks, man. All right. I'll just mute myself here.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. So we adapt. We adapt and we overcome. There's Nika. Nika, my hero, my heroine. So I guess what we could do some NBA builds and stuff like that with like Saber Sim. That could be fun. So yeah, let's do that. Let's and maybe we'll do a showdown while I'm here. Let's see. Let's share my screen first of all. Okay. And then, oh wait, we got to get rid of his, right? Okay, so we'll get rid of his, and this is mine. And then we'll do the NBA. And what we're going to do is we're just going to have a little fun. What we're going to do is we're going to create our own contest field this time. And all we're going to do is take our ownerships and replace Saber Sims with our own. And what that's going to do is create our own field. So exclude unlisted players. Now, by the way, for those of you who watch me do this, I hope you understand why I do this, the exclude unlisted players. All it really does, it's because I have my own projections and I have like guys in here, and I don't want to include a player if I haven't projected him in some way. So sometimes if Saber Sim will include like some like really low priced guy, more in Showdown and stuff like that, that I don't want to consider because I didn't really look at him. I just don't want to throw him in here. That's why I click the unlisted players. Now, this apply to all slates thing, this is sort of useful for Showdown, I guess. So, like, for example, I'm going to click this in apply to all slates. And then I'm also going to create custom fields. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. I'm going to call this Sheets. Now, let's call it something else. Call it Sheets 5.5. So we know it's May 5th, I guess. 5,000 lineups, allow duplicates, and we hit save. So now what it's doing is a couple of things. First of all, it's now building a 5,000 lineup field for the NBA based on my ownerships. So what it's doing is it's instead of using the Saber Sim stock fields to compare my lineup builds to, it's creating this other 5,000 lineup field based on my ownerships. Okay. So what we want, if we want, we can look at it and see if it makes sense. So this is what the field that we're going to compare our builds to is going to look like. So 57% Caruso, 57% Jalen Williams. Now, again, the reason why I could do it for the NBA and not for, say, I don't know, MLB and other sports is because, just putting in like just raw ownership to create fields ignores certain characteristics of fields, like some field, like what part of the field is going to be stacking, how many 5-mans, how many 4-mans, things like that. But NBA, since there's really not much correlation involved, people are just going to play who they play, then it makes a little more sense. Now, again, the only reason you ever want to do this is if you think that your fields are going to be better than SaberSims, which really means in this type of sport, you have to really believe that your ownerships are going to be somewhat better than SaberSims. And the good thing is, I mean, I'm like so close really on all of these things that I don't know. I'll just kind of go with this, and it's like perilously close because everybody's, it's a 2-game slate. I don't know if people are going to get a lot of this wrong. So, okay, so this is the exposure. I guess this looks sort of okay. So it builds this field of lineup. So what I can do then is I can access this when I go to my contests. So, like for example, I just put these projections in, and then what you could do is you go into contest right here, and you'll see that it defaults on field lineups to flagship MME. So if I feel like it, I could change it to, you see under field lineups, there's sheets 55 there. So I'll do that. Now, I want to keep the big one, the alley-oop, the same as it was just from SaberSim, just because my ownership projections are not catered to the big buy-in. It's really just a lottery projection. So I am not going to pretend that my field can be better than SaberSims, which is specifically catering it to this particular type of field. So field size. So I'm going to just keep this like this. Let's see. I do have the set cores column. I have the 320. Do this for large contest lottery. So you get 5K lineups. Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect. I mean, it certainly isn't perfect. But, yeah, just another way of doing it. I mean, again, we're just kind of experimenting. So what we do then is we'll go back into this thing here. Wait, where was I? Build 2? I sometimes lose track of what I had. All right, so let's build 5,000 lineups. Nothing else. No other changes. And we're going to get to why I put apply to all contests or whatever, all slates, after we do this. And one kind of danger of doing this. Now, one thing I don't think I'm going to do, in especially a 2-game slate, is worry too much about min uniques. So built the lineups here. Now here's the little. I also have it automatically running the sims once the lineups are built. That's a different tag, a different option I never knew existed. And then what we're going to do is we are going to do autofill and put this one at the top, so that it's going to prioritize the alley-oop first, take the top lineup out of that one, and then reallocate that to shoot around. Not reallocate it. How do I put it? I said that bad. So it's going to sim everything against the alley-oop, take the best lineup for the alley-oop, take it out of the pool, then resim the remaining 49.99 to the shoot around, and then I'll get my best 50 out of that. Okay. So then we'll just hit, save the contest, and then that's pretty much it. And I'm, again, nice little gap there between first game and the second game. So you really should be late swapping. What's up, Andy? So you really should be late swapping. And I will give you my partial dissertation on late swapping again. It doesn't matter whether you're doing
well or poorly, you should always run the late swap tool, okay? Because it takes into account things that you didn't take into account when you built your lineups at 7 o'clock. You might end up with the same lineups, but you might not. So you're always better off just rerunning it. Okay. So when you saw that I saved it, I apply to all slates. So what I can do then is I can go into the showdown slate, which I'm playing as well. And then what I can do, ostensibly, do you have to set your number of lineups to a much higher number when you are... Do I set my number of lineups to a much higher number than your entries? What do you mean number of lineups? Like, I always build 5,000. What do you mean by just tell me what you mean and I'll try to reproduce it. Do I set them too much? I don't like set anything. You know what I mean? I don't know what you mean really. I mean, I'll do it again on FanDuel just to show you. I mean, in my lineup set. All right, so here I'm on FanDuel, right? All right. So let me first put my projections in. I mean, this is like literally every click. So let's see. So I put exclude unlisted players. Let's again create the custom fields if we want. Do we want to do this just for this? No, I get you, Deacon, but let's just see if I ever really need to do that. So let's not create the custom field right now. Okay. So here we are, right? So I haven't touched anything, right? So there's no pool, there's no trash, there's no nothing. This is all I have before I click build lineups. And I have 5,000 lineups in here. And you'll see, okay, fair enough. So again, I forgot to give you the order of things. I always save do you save the dummy lineups first? Like you see that I save the dummy lineups in here from fan. Do you do that? Because that could be an issue. If you don't have them already in here, you might not get the right amount in that next pane that you're talking about. Like right now, because there's 51 entries in the entry editor, it's always going to give me at least, you know what I mean? I'll show you. So we'll build the lineups, and then I'll show you when that won't happen. I think maybe this can be helpful to you. We'll see. So right now I pre-saved the 51. And again, look, nothing up my sleeve, like no hands, right? No clicks, no nothing. Retrieving lineups. Then you see up on the top right, it's already starting to run. The 51 is already up there. See that? In this top right thing, the 51 is already there because it's mimicking, I think, that. And if that were not there, it would have some other number here. And I'll show you how that works. So we go to autofill, and then we just do this, save, and then we're good. On the other hand, if we didn't do that, let me find a slate I didn't play yet. So that definitely happens to me in situations where I don't pre-save the lineups. So let me just find them. Let me just find you an example. Okay, so what is something that I haven't played? How about okay. Let's do the this showdown, the Celtic one. Okay. So I haven't played that one yet. And so if we want to build that without putting the contests in, and let's build, I don't know, like you want to build 2,000? We'll build 2,000 lineups. Let's see how many it gives us in this pane, because it's probably some random number. Not random. Let's just see. Oh, it already. Oh, let's go over here. See, it's saying it has 20. Oh, you're saying something else then, Nika. I'm sorry. So here, so you see, but for everybody to see what just happened, right? So in this one, I didn't have the lineups pre-saved. So it gives you kind of a default number of 20. And then if I need to build lineups that are more than that, I have to put more than that in. And then you're saying when I save, I get the not enough lineups to fit your contests. When I save, you mean like here under save, and you think it's because of the max exposures. That's your assumption. That could be. So what you're saying is there's something, and this is I think what you were getting at when we were going back and forth with the discussion of the videos, that when you put your own custom max exposures of the players, that autofill doesn't like that for some reason. Well, let's see. Well, let's see if we can do that. All right, you want to try to break it? Let's try to break it. Let's go to let's go back to the NBA. And we'll start all over. But let's do something like, I don't know, what do you want to do? Let's do Shea. We'll put him at minimum exposure 30. No, let's do a maximum because they want to play him. How about that? Do a maximum. We'll do a maximum exposure of actually, let's do this. Maximum exposure of Shea of 10. And we'll do a maximum exposure of Jokic of 10. Maximum exposure of Tatum with 10, for example. You think this is good enough? No, it's Dika is totally fine. My lineups are in. This is me being able to do this is so much more important, honestly, for the long run. Do we want to figure this out? Okay. So let's put 10% of all these guys in. And let's say, you know what I want? I want no Jalen Brunson. 0. X him out. Even better. Okay. So now what we're going to do, let's rebuild the lineups with these very restrictive ideas, right? So let's see. Rebuild lineups. And let's just see what happens. So max 10% Jokic, 10% Shea, 10% Tatum, and 0 Jalen Brunson. So it's building 5,000 lineups with those restrictions. And we're also learning the different delays in the restream chat. Only about 30, 45 seconds. Now, what this reminds me of is the old version of SaberSim where it would yell at you for messing with the exposures. I don't know if you remember that. Okay, so now it's simming. In autofill. Now what you're saying is when I click save, it's going to give you an error, maybe, say not enough lineups. But only in maybe in autofill you're suggesting, maybe in direct fill. You got to build up the sweat here. I have to like, you leaving? Yeah. Okay, bye honey, have fun. So we're going to build up the sweat. So what the hypothesis is when we click save the contest right now, it is going to give us some kind of an error. Okay, ready? Let's go. Yep, okay. It says unable to meet your exposures. Your lineup pool cannot meet your requested exposure. Now, did that actually happen though? But did it actually happen? Because I'm looking at this. Let's just see. So let's keep editing. Like you said it happened, but did it actually happen? See what I'm saying? Because I remember that Jordan was telling me something about how it doesn't realize something. I forget what he said in his video with that error message, and they were looking into that. But like you say, I saw what it said. It cannot do the exposures. But when you look at it, it actually is, right? Because you're getting, I mean, close enough, right? Instead of 10%, you're getting 11% Jokic, 9% Shea, 9% Tatum, and 0% Brunson. But what I would like to see is so that's, I guess, my answer, right? It is filling it with something. I mean, it looks as though it's filling it with exactly the type of exposure that you wanted. I think that I'm guessing, but perhaps that error message is just kind of tilting you a little bit. But I think when you look at it here, isn't this what it's filling with? So I saved to the contest, and your entries file should reflect the same when I download it. But I'm not going to actually download it. But this is where it would be. It would be like right here. This is it. This is the file. I mean, this is it, right? 11% Jokic, 0% Brunson, 9% Shea, 9% whatever. So my initial explanation, I guess, have me try this for the first time with you, Nika, is that I just think that maybe I'm wrong, but my first comment would be you actually are getting the exposure that you're asking, but that error message is sort of tilting. Maybe it's the presence of the error message which needs to be kind of dealt with. I want to go back and watch that video that Jordan did for me, because I thought now, what do you say now? Typically get the first that you're explaining it. Get the first you're explaining it, and it would bother me. I'm getting that not enough lineups to fill when I have the full 5,000. But you're getting the error, but you do have enough lineups to fill. You know what I mean? Or you're saying if I did this, it would duplicate the lineups? Oh, okay. I did not get the same message. Nika, I'm telling you, one of these days, just hop on and you know what I mean? Like, I have no problem you coming on with me here. We could talk through this. We can share your screen. We can do it now if you want. You know what I mean? I just want to. I don't want to ruin your game. You know, you have to get your own lineups in too. We could do this tomorrow or whatever. I'm around. But these are the things I like doing. I want to figure this out. And honestly, like you were saying, if like someone who's doing a really good player knows what they're freaking talking about, can't get to the bottom of this. I mean, that's obviously not good for SaberSim, and they'd want to do that. If you got, but I thought I got the not enough lineups to fill error. Oh, I did not get that. I got the right. I got something different. Right. I got the just your exposures cannot be met. I did not get the not enough lineups to fill. Right. Let's go. Hold on. Let me give you a here. Let me give you a link. 1 second. Hold on. Yep, fair enough. Where is the not that I guess copy clipboard. Okay, let me find you in my Discord, and then we're going to record this too. So hold on, let's Discord. Where are you? Where did you go? Mika? Book. Okay. So I just pinged you a link. Tell me if that works. Oh, Bobby in there. I see Bobby. I see Bobby's stuff here. Officially a late start in Washington. Okay. Thank you. I would not take the national game out of my player pool. But what I would do is I would check Roth to see what he says about all this. Let's see. Delay of some sort is basically a lock. Late start. Oh, there you are. Let's see. There you go. Hey, Nico, there you are.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing pretty well. So can you click on a thing that says share screen?
Yep. 1 second. Let me turn off the video.
There you are.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Share screen. Yep. Let me close some things. I'm multitasking, editing photos.
Oh, you and me both. Don't worry.
So I haven't filled everything for today, but let's go to yesterday.
I just want to see this error. I want to see if we can reproduce it.
Yep. Okay. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yep. Let's add this to the scene. Okay, there you are. I got it.
Okay, cool. So yesterday for baseball, just trying some different things out, and I'll go to the build I had yesterday. And so, we've been going back and forth on the autofill versus direct fill. And ever since that week that Baker Mayfield went crazy in football, I set like minimum 30% for autofill. Well, for my exposures on that stack, and boosted the right players, McMillan and everything. And after running autofill, I only had 3%. So I'm like, what is going on? So I never used it since then. I used it maybe one time, but now after seeing your video and what Jordan explained, it seems that they updated it. So I've been playing with it recently, but every time I go and save, I'm gonna do it now, and I do have.
Can you start from the beginning or no?
Yeah. So I had some crazy exposures.
Okay, so wait. So how crazy is this? So let's look at this. Hold on. What do you got? We know what we're dealing with here. So.
Yep. Let me see. Can you see everything?
Yeah. So you have like a 5%, like Aaron Judge, and was that a 6%? So you have some pretty restrictive, which is fine. I mean, whatever. It's supposed to do what you tell it to do. Okay.
Yeah. So this was, just testing a set, trying to see how much variance I could, introduce into the build.
Okay.
So when I go and hit save.
Well, hold on. Did you wait, hold on. Did you build the lineups yet?
Yeah. These are the lineups from yesterday.
So you have yesterday's. Okay.
Yeah, these are from yesterday. I'm expecting to get the same error once I hit it. So yeah, this is the one. Now I have 231 entries, but even with the lineups, I still have the 231. So it's saying we were unable to fill all the contests due to lack of lineups.
Okay, wait a minute. Is it possible that you could just kind of do what I just did, like I just do a whole new thing from like the beginning? You know what I mean? It doesn't even have to be. I mean, for like a new slate of some kind, even one you're not playing or something.
Yeah.
Because I always like to go back and see where the screw up, whatever it is, like could have happened.
Yep. So yeah, and I think so like what you just did for basketball, I'm expecting to not get that error.
Why?
Because the exposures that you had, they weren't like super restrictive.
So make some terrible ones then. I make some now if it's too restrictive and it's not going to show up even in the top 5,000.
Yeah, but
well, no, that's not true because no. Because if you set the exposures and then build 5,000, then it's got to be in there somewhere. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because even if you have if I have the 5,000 lineups, then it still should be able to set something out of those 231 out of 5,000. I should be able to get something.
You would think. I mean, I guess.
Yeah. So let's try to make some. And let's say I'm gonna take Rodon. So these are not, like
whatever.
Yeah, we're just, and then I'm gonna just eliminate these just to see if we can get it. Okay.
Okay, now just at least build 5,000 just so you can prove to me that you can at least build 5,000.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, the only other thing is you have to try to save it to something, right?
Yeah. I have some entries. I just didn't.
Okay. Yeah. Or maybe you can get that same error without you having to actually. No, I guess you do have to put it somewhere, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Great. Perfect. Okay. So first of all, let's just make sure it gets it all. So 5,000 lineups have been made.
Mm-hmm.
Putting the lineups in, and again, I'm just narrating this for myself. So the first thing I'll notice is once again, you only show 20 in that. No, go back. Go back to direct fill for a second. So why is there only 20?
Because we didn't have any entries.
We didn't have it in there first.
Yeah. Yep.
So do me a favor. Wait, just do me a favor. Just run it again. Just hit rebuild lineups again. Sorry.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Just so. Yeah. Because I do want it to show 320 in that pane before we try to save it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would love to, just set up some time and, like you said, just try to break it.
Yeah, no, totally. That's much more interesting to me than 99% of the other stuff. So this isn't so. It's definitely mad at you a little bit
Yep.
for your exposures or whatever.
Yeah, it's moving a lot slower, trying to meet that criteria.
Yep. Okay, so just slow down for a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it has these lineups, and now it's interesting. You look at it in this view. Okay, so then click run contest sim just from here. Okay, good.
Yeah.
And now you're gonna say that after this is done, if we tried to fill it in direct fill, it would be no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But when we try to fill it in autofill, there's not enough lineups to do that. So let's first then fill direct fill, so that we can show that it works for direct fill, because we're trying to like isolate the autofill piece, right?
Yep.
Okay, so this is fine. So it is in direct fill right now. So why don't you do the save the cons? Do it one at a time, just for fun. So hit the drop down over here. Yes, just do the first one first.
Okay.
And then do the next one.
So, like doing it this way, you are bound to get duplicates.
Yeah. Well, no, you have a unique rank. I mean, you shouldn't. But you do? Okay.
Yeah, you do. You should. Yeah. I think that's what Jordan was trying to explain as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, and we'll go down here.
Yep. And let's do this. Save the contest. And confirmed. I mean, like there's been no error, and you could do that. All right. So now instead go to autofill.
Mm-hmm.
And then do this, and then hit save the contests, and then we're going to get an error saying not enough lineups.
Yeah, we will. I believe we'll only get the error if the exposures are restrictive enough.
Right.
So so it worked there.
Okay.
So let's say I had who's the top owned team today? I haven't looked at anything yet. Let's see. So we have Seattle. Okay.
Oh, Kansas City, Seattle. I don't know, something like that.
I'm just gonna make this restricted.
Yeah, but make sure that there's enough lineups in the 5,000. You want to make sure that.
Yep. So I'm just gonna put that like 28 or something like that, and then just have just a few that are a little less than that. So
no, don't do that yet. No, first rebuild again.
You want to rebuild?
Yeah.
Yeah, because even with the 5 on Massey, it was and the entries were only 3%, but that was before saving.
Now this is another kind of dumb question. It shouldn't make a difference, but is there any difference between what you see? You're using the Run Pure interface, right? Like SaberSim through Run Pure. So are we sure that it runs the same thing as if you ran SaberSim by itself? Okay, I'm just curious.
Yep. So this is the ultimate. Ultimate. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I made sure of that before.
Yeah.
Okay, so and we left it on autofill, so it may just start us there.
It may just automatically just fire it. No. Make sure they're all checked, right? The contests. Okay, good. right, so let's just go straight to autofill and see what it does. And you're saying not enough lineups to. Yeah, you already see it's kind of an issue. It's barely even making it through this first one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it was, because my exposures were
too restrictive.
Yeah.
Let's see. They'll probably give the error if at all at the end, I guess.
Okay, so it's done.
Yeah, so far so good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now let's just see.
No, okay.
It's like when you bring the car to the mechanic, right? And like all of a sudden it starts to work again. Okay.
Yep, doesn't make that noise.
All right, so this one we'll do then. Next time I would go back to trying to use autofill.
Mm-hmm.
And next time you next time you get it, just run it again and record it. Then we'll totally have some evidence.
Yeah, we definitely can do that.
All right, cool. Sounds great. Oh, by the way, for those of you who don't know who the hell this is, that's on here. Okay. So Nika's like one of the. I don't want to embarrass her. She's one of the top players, one of the top minds. She doesn't really like put herself out there or too much. So not that many people, aside from people that really know anything. I know she is. She plays very much like I do. She actually probably knows more about the sports than I do. She builds her own models and things like that. She's definitely one of the brighter minds, and much respect because also like me, she has 75,000 other things to do. Not the least of which nursing children with stomach viruses and things like that.
Oh my, yeah. Terrible week.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I am actually going to I'm going to kick you out, and I'll kick you out of here, and then I'm going to basically stop this stream as well. Good luck to everybody. I hope that helps some people. I guess certainly helped me. And to answer your questions about the Washington game, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, honestly. I'm going to just keep checking raw for the next 20 minutes or so and see what I want to do. Sheets, forget about DFS. How badly did the Knicks lose tonight? I don't know. I don't know. I hope it's not too bad. Can I say? It's 6:30. You want to check some exposures while I'm here? And why not? Can we do that? Want to see who I have on FanDuel? And none of these guys are important. No problem, Nika. No lineups yet on FanDuel? Oh, because it's 6:35, right?